Are you interested in comparing data from RockSim of multiple flights and seeing them all on the same chart? So maybe you want to do this in Google Sheets because that's free. That's what I'm going to cover in this video. Okay, so let's get started by running a simulation and exporting some data. So what we have, and it's shown here, we have a rocket, and it's just a kind of a generic rocket, and it's going to fly with a C6-7 engine. And we're going to launch it straight up, and then we're going to start varying the launch angle. I've already gone ahead and done a 0-degree launch angle going straight up, and I've done a 10-degree launch angle, so the rocket is angled at 10 degrees. And let's do a 20-degree angle and see what that looks like, and then we can start exporting some data. So we're going to go here to prepare for launch. We've already got a rocket engine loaded, so we have the Estes C6-7 loaded. My comment says 10-degree launch angle, but we're actually going to make it 20. So now this comment doesn't affect anything. This just tells me, kind of gives me an indication of what is going on. So I'm going to change that to 20 degrees. And then my starting state is up here. And here I'm going to change this to 20 degrees. Now this does affect the launch angle. So we're launching at a 20-degree angle, and nothing else has changed. We're going to eject the parachute right at Apogee, and that's seen here on the Flight Events tab. To deploy at a time after Apogee of 0 seconds. So right when it hits Apogee, it's going to deploy the parachute. And I'm going to see flight profile just to see what this looks like in a two-dimensional realm. So here is the rocket on the screen, and you can see that the rocket is slightly tilted at 20 degrees. When we click the launch button, the rocket takes off, and it's arcing over. And right when it gets to Apogee, our parachute will pop out, and there's the parachute. And at this point, it's just going to descend at a constant rate, and it will come down on a straight line as the wind's blowing it. And I have an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing from my left to the right, and I'm just moving the rocket along in the timeline so that you can see about where it lands way down here. Okay, so now this right here, this trajectory, this shape, is what we want to compare from one simulation to another, and we want to put all the data into Google Sheets and make that comparison. Now you can make other parameter changes that you might want to see, but I'm going to be doing altitude versus range at 3 different launch angles. So I'm going to click cancel here. Now I'm going to go to, you need to highlight the simulation, and we're going to say, go to the file menu, go to export, and then say, let's export out the simulation data. And we're going to export out this rocket. So I'm going to change the name right here, and this is the 20-degree angle. I can see that because I've got it listed here in my comments. So 20 degree. Right now, you have to notice where it's putting your file. Right now, it's putting it in my Documents folder under RockSim Designs, under 20-degree launch angle. I don't like that location, so I'm going to change it. So I'm going to go to Browse, and it's going to bring up a browsing dialog box, and I want to put it on my desktop. So this is my desktop, all the stuff that's thrown there right now, and it rechanged my name, so I'm going to change it back to 20-degree launch angle. And you can see it's a CSV, which is a comma separated something or another file. This is the kind that you would use for spreadsheets. And I'm going to click Save That. That just changes the name. It didn't actually save it, okay, until I click down here. Now I need to know how many data points per graph I want to see. Right now, by default, it's at 2,000 data points, which is way too many. I'm going to back that down to 100 data points. I'm going to start the clock at time 0 and end it at the end of the data. And then I'm going to select only the data from below. Now these are all the things that I can export out as data-wise, but I only want altitude and range. So here's altitude and range. So I'm going to select those and click OK. And now it actually did export it out, and it exported it onto the desktop. You can see here where it went. And then the file name of 20-degree launch angle. And I'll click OK. So if I go to my desktop and I search for it, and it's way down here at the bottom, there it is, my 20-degree launch angle file. So now I need to do that same process for my other flight simulations. So I'm going to go here to the 10-degree. I'm going to go to Export, Simulation Data, change the name. It's still pointing at the desktop, which is good. I just need to change the name so it doesn't override my old file. Make sure that altitude and range are selected here, and then click OK. And it exported out that. One more time. First I got to highlight the simulation. I'm highlighting the 0-degree launch angle. Go to Export, Simulation Data. This is a 0-degree launch angle. Make sure that you change that name. Make sure you select altitude and range from here. Click OK, and now it's exported. So now I am actually done in RockSim, and from here I will go to Google Sheets. So let me bring up Google Sheets. So at this point we're going to start merging the data together in Google Sheets. So I have Google Sheets open here, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it my RockSim data. And then I'm going to import it. So I want to go to File, Import, and we're going to upload it from our computer. And you can see it's going to be a drag and drop type of feature. So I need to find it, and I have it here on my desktop. So I'm going to drag the first one, which is the 0-degree launch angle, here, and it's going to load it. And we're going to not create a new spreadsheet. We're going to always select this one down here, replace data at the selected cell, and leave all the other defaults alone, and then just hit import data. And you can see that it imported the data. Then we need to scroll down, so I'm scrolling down in the spreadsheet. Oops, too far. And then I need to put the cursor right here and highlight one more cell, and I'm going to import the next batch of data right there. So again, I'm going to go File, Import, and I'm going to select the 10-degree launch. Oops, I need to upload first, then the 10-degree launch angle. Again, replace the data at the selected cell, make sure that's highlighted, and then import data. And then you can see it import the data just fine. And I'm going to scroll down again to the bottom of that. Put the cursor here again, and then do it one last time. So import, upload, 20 degrees is right here. And I am going to say replace data at selected cell and then import. Okay, so now we have the 3 sets of data here. This data between the cells, the altitude and range, on the bottom 2 sets of data, you know, the 10-degree and the 20-degree data, I don't need. So I'm going to highlight those 2 rows. I'm going to right-click and then select delete rows 209 to 2010. Okay, so then it deleted them. I'm going to go up to the next one. I don't need these 2 rows. Do a right click and then delete these rows. Okay, so now my data is in the wrong columns, so I need to have range first and altitude second. So I'm going to highlight that row. I'm going to do a right click, and I'm going to copy that data, and then I'm going to click on that cell, the next cell over, and then right click, and then paste. And you can see it pasted that data here. Now this whole column I don't need anymore, so I'm going to highlight it and then just delete the whole column. Okay, so now I want to put my headers here. So I'm going to call this one, I don't need the word feet here, so I'm going to delete all that. This one, I'm going to change the name to 0 degrees. Zero-degree launch angle. The next column is going to be 10-degree launch angle. And then the final column over here is going to be 20. Now these are just for the headers. Okay, so now I need to put data in these columns right here. So now the 10-degree data starts down here, and I'm going to highlight this column from here down to the bottom of the 10-degree launch angle, which is right here. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and click, and you can see it highlighted that whole row. And then I'm going to do a I'm going to delete that. So on my keyboard I did Control X, or on the Mac it's Command X to delete, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to do a paste, which is Control V or Command V on the Mac. So I just took that column and I just slid it over one column over, and this is under the 10-degree launch angle. Now I have to do the same thing for the 20-degree launch angle, and it starts down right here. So I'm going to take this column from here down and then shift it over to that column right here, into the D column. So I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of that data, hit my shift key and hit click, and then I'm going to Control X, and then I'm going to paste it right here. So Control V. Okay, so now my data is in the right order and in the right columns, and shifting this data over is the key to getting all your data to match up. Okay, so now we need to create the chart. So I'm scrolling down to the bottom, and I'm going to highlight from here all the way at to the very top. Okay, so I highlighted all that, and then I'm going to come over here to the chart button, insert a chart. And if you can't find it there, just go under the insert menu and scroll down here to chart. And it's going to create a chart. First we want to select the type of chart. So we don't want a column chart like it's showing right now. We want a line chart. So I'm going to click on this, the line chart thing, and you can see our data is starting to show up here. So now our x-axis, we need to highlight what is going to fill the x-axis. So I'm going to go here to the x-axis, and I'm going to start selecting the range. Let's see what happens. And that actually worked pretty good. See, what it does is it took this column right here and it says, okay, this is my x-axis. All right, so but now we got this extra blue line right here, which we don't need. So that's in the y-axis. So this series right here, so it's showing four sets of data, but we only need 3 sets: the 0, the 10, and the 20 degree. So this range series of data, we're going to delete that. So we're going to click on these 3 buttons and say remove. And so that it removed that data. And you can see our chart is looking pretty good so far. it took the 0-degree launch angle, which is the blue line, the 10-degree launch angle, which is the red, and the 20-degree, which is the yellow. And really all we need to add is the titles. So I'm going to go to Chart Axis Titles and click on that. So now the chart title is going to go up here at the top of the chart, and I'm going to call this altitude. You can see as I'm typing, it's adding it over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up here to chart title, and I'm going to go to the vertical axis title. Now the vertical axis title is this right here, and this is altitude, and I'm going to put it in the units of feet, and you can see it added it right there. And now I'm finally going to go to the horizontal axis, and this one is going to be range, and this is feet. All right, so basically we have our chart right here, and you can resize it any way you want, but it doesn't do any good inside the Google Sheet because you probably want to bring it into some other program. So you're going to go to these three little dots right here, and you're going to say download, and then you have a choice of what format you want. I'm going to open it up as a PDF document right here. So I'm going to click that, and it downloaded it, and then it opened it up, and there's our chart of altitude versus range for 3 different launch angles. So I've basically, what I've done here is I've combined 3 launches created in RockSim. I brought the data out and then brought it into Google Sheets and combined it all into one chart, so you can get a visualization of what those trajectories look like. Now, you can do this for any of the data that RockSim generates. Like you might want to go speed versus altitude, or wind speed versus range. So you can do anything. It's the sky's the limit on what you can do exporting the data. And this makes really good charts and graphs for any kind of rocket reports that you might be creating for your school or for your club. So that is the process of combining data from RockSim into graphs that you can use. My name is Tim Van Milligan. If you like this video, down below is the thumbs up button that you liked it, so go ahead and hit that like button. There's also a subscribe button down there, so if you'd like to get more videos from Apogee Components, hit the subscribe button, and once you hit the subscribe button, right next to it will pop up a little bell icon, and that little bell icon is so that you get email alerts from us when we release. Oh, actually they're going to come from YouTube when we release any new videos. So make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, it will bring it up in your feed, but when you hit the alert button, the little bell icon, you'll actually get an email notifying you when these videos are available. So thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And my name again is Tim Van Milligan, and this is the Apogee YouTube channel.